Welcome to the Compliance Weekly for the 24th of January, 2024. And the first item is to go through the milestone board. Does anyone remember the last one that we discussed last week? Otherwise, we can just go through them from top to bottom. There's not too many, only 8 at the moment. Intent test coverage review with Hitesh.
Yeah, that was discussed last time.
Okay, cool. Namespace, the GCP login, that was discussed. What was discussed? Rollout of the timeout status checks. Jay?
Yeah, that was just some feature flag cleanup. That's all done and removed and fully rolled out.
Is that the same as the one for the pending status check?
Yeah, the pending status check one though was a tricky one because there was actually a bug with chat ops, so had to fix that, but it's in and fixed, and is working as of today. So that one's also cleaned up.
Perfect. And the only other one here is the audit event for downloading CI artifacts. That's with Sam, but did anyone else here verify it or look into it?
I verified it,
Oh, cool.
and so these are so whenever a pipeline runs and creates any artifacts, so this MR for this issue allow tracks the audit events on streams only for whenever a user downloads the CI artifact.
Cool. It's nice to see more audit events getting added. Was there anything else on the milestone board that anyone wanted to discuss? Anything in blocked? There's a lot in blocked, but nope. Cool. We'll move on to planning issue. And Ilya, you've got the first one, which was the show linked security policies in the new compliance framework report.
Yeah, I'm working on it. It looks it's okay. Expecting to have first merge requests open this week, and I've discovered a couple of things related to the security policy group, which is which requires their assistance. I already pinged you there, Nate, about the issue being put in backlog, which is potentially needed for us. Otherwise, it is okay. Yeah, there is the API, like the code will be a bit more complicated in terms of implementing pagination, and we have two different sources of truth to do it to two different types of security policies, but we will live with that. Nate, is it just me?
Yeah, the mute button.
Yeah.
I was searching for it. ClickHouse, I'm not sure if anyone has an update there or knows anything. Otherwise, we'll move on to standards adherence and report improvements. Jay?
So yeah, still working on grouping, and then SAFA has the GraphQL scan on demand MR up. It's in the review pipeline. I'm also going to take a look at that tomorrow and play around with that in the front end. The scan on demand is split off into two issues. So the target release I don't think is 16.9 for scan on demand. I think it's, well, actually the MVC is 16.9 with the improvement of the progress bar of 16.10.
Great. Yeah, we should update that to be MVC then for 16.9. Anyone have an update on the compliance pipelines maintenance mode? I know Sam's not here. No, we'll move on. Consolidation of tables for streaming audit events. Atish?
So I have created an MR for adding tables and models for group level destinations. And that MR is ready. I was waiting for the pipeline to finish and I'll send it for review today. And apart from that, I'll start working on the instance level thing too.
Nice. And the next is the protected branch improvements. Ellie, I know you're semi-involved in some of the front end there. Do you have an update on where that's at?
No, except that the issue is assigned to me and planned for this milestone, but I haven't touched it yet.
Sure. The next one was the new compliance standard adherence report checks. No, those haven't been started yet. They're sort of a stretch goal for this. SAML SSO authentication, start development of the follow-up items. Sam's not here, but I know that he's been working on a couple of those and been discussing things with the auth-in team around some of the forcing reauth. Next is the comprehensive audit log. Jay, any update on that?
With this one, this is still a work in progress. Target release of 17.0 looks good.
End-to-end test coverage with who's safer. I can actually update. I made an update to the Epic. I had a catch up with Harsha yesterday, and we've gone through and adjusted the priorities of all of those, and then updated the govern testing priority list for end-to-end tests. So we'll just adjust this slightly, but we're hoping that we can still get the SAML auth protection one done this milestone. And I know there's the standards adherence report one that hasn't been started yet, but we'll probably move the GCP logging one out of this, out of the goals for this milestone. Final one was, the next one was the new compliance framework report with Ilya, and there's just a few follow-up items.
Yeah, I believe we need first of all to clear up the feature flag, which was flipped at previous milestone. And this will be the focus for this goal, but also not yet started.
Perfect. And the final one was external status check approval with Jay.
Yeah, that one's still in planning phase. With the hopes of having start development by 16.9, it still looks on track. And I think a release of 16.10 is feasible.
Fantastic. So that's the planning issue. No design or QA update here. Next is the Eng dashboard, which I've got here. I've got pinged by the data team. We're moving. Hey pup. We're moving the dashboards from Sisense to Tableau, so they've started moving them all across. So I'm not sure how accurate a lot of this information is while they're changing some of the tables. The error budget looks pretty good though. MR types, 70% feature, 26 maintenance, and 5% bugs. That looks almost bang on of where we should be. MR rate looks completely all over the place. I don't know what's happening there, so we'll ignore that field till next month. Yeah, we're sort of seeing a steady decline, and it seems to be plateauing a little bit in both closed issues and merged requests. I know that there'll be a drop in December due to Jan due to the holiday periods and lots of PTO, but that looks all good. Feature flags. Is there any in here that we need to discuss? Should try refresh this. Oh, there we go. So just the CSV export that hasn't been. Is that Jay? You might know around that one, the standards adherence report CSV export flag. Is that been
It's not default enabled because there was a subgroup, include subgroup was missing. that MR just got merged, so that's a good reminder. I'm gonna enable that to true and observe it for a few days and then start the cleanup for that.
But it looks like there's a couple of other ones there that we need to just clean up, but that's fine. Our open sus unpacking and past due security bugs are all severity 3 or severity 4, which is fantastic. And we have one community MR here that we might want to just have a look into, and it's been merged by Evan. Thank you, Evan. So that's great to see. Nothing really to pick up there. Next on the list was FY and questions. Just a couple from me. The 16.8 retro is open, so please add your thoughts and musings into that while it's there. And I know Summit's coming up in March, so pretty quickly. A couple of other teams are looking at having like little get-togethers between themselves, potentially going out and doing activities. I've started an issue there to discuss potentially catching up. So if you are joining, please add in there if you'd like to catch up as just a compliance team and any sort of activities that you might want to do as part of that. Before I stop the recording, is there anything else anyone wants to discuss? Nope. Wave out to the camera then, and we'll stop the recording.